Hi, I'm Katie, and this is the Beer Coach channel, and today I am talking about the basics of pairing food and beer. I am a nationally ranked beer judge and an Advanced Cicerone, and one of my favorite parts about preparing for the Cicerone exam was pairing beer with my meals. So why don't you grab a beer and join me as we walk through how I do it. And I definitely shouldn't be doing this without a beer. Cheers. What are the desired outcomes of your food and beer pairing? I have three. One is to highlight something. Bring forward a feature in the food or the beer that wasn't pronounced before. Two is to evoke something. Bring forward a memory or a feeling or a thought or a conversation. Memory is strongly linked to aroma, and so this is a very powerful tool we can use in a food and beer pairing. Or three, create something completely new that wasn't there before. There are three main concepts to keep in mind when building a pairing. The first one is intensity. You want to match the intensity of your beer to the intensity of your dish. You do not want to put together a bright, crisp summer salad that's nice and light with a heavy milk chocolate stout. They just don't match in level of intensity. The second one is complementary flavors. There are a lot of flavors in beer that you can find in your food. So you got nice toasty, bready malt profile. You can match that to the nice toasted bread in your grilled cheese. And then the third is actually the opposite of that. It's contrast. There are contrasting flavors that exist in beer, such as bitterness, carbonation, alcohol. This is also known as cutting, and these flavors are great to cut through creamy or sweet dishes. We have desired outcomes and we have concepts to work with. Now, where do we start? Do you start with the beer and build the food menu, or do you start with the food menu and pick the beer? As a beer person, I'm usually handed a food menu, and I will say most people like a theme. So go with a region of the world, or a beer style, or maybe just a brewery that you specifically really like, and start there. Also, as a beer person, I recommend studying cooking techniques. What flavors are drawn from roasting versus baking versus sauteing? Experiment in your own kitchen. Take notes when you eat out. Watch cooking shows. And open your spice drawer. Give those spices a smell. Consider the flavors that the main ingredients in beer create. Yeast creates esters such as dark fruits, citrus, or palm fruits. It also creates phenolics that are spicy, peppery, that could go with herbal dishes or spicy dishes like Indian or Thai. Hops contribute a wide range of flavors and aromas: herbal, earthy, citrusy, tropical. These flavors are also found in foods: salad dressings, cheeses, herb rubs, umami notes in meats, mushrooms, or maybe the fruit themselves. Malt contributes a wide range of flavors to beer. You can find toasty, roasty, caramel, nutty, or even honey. These flavors are echoed in food. You can find toasty notes in aged cheeses, in breads, or grilled meats. Roastiness can be found in smoked meats, in chocolates, or coffee. Caramel is found in sauteed foods, in barbecued foods, in some vegetables, or even desserts. Nuttiness exists in baked goods, in cheeses, in sausage, or bread crusts. Other flavors that beer could contain: a barrel-aged beer could have vanilla, bourbon, or woodiness. A wild fermented beer could have funky, barnyard, hay flavors, which would be fascinating to pair with food. We have the menu, we know where the beer is coming from, and we have discussed food flavors you can find in your beer. Time to pick a specific beer to go with each dish. Going back to our concepts, the first one to work with is intensity. Pick your lightest and least intense beers to start with your first dish. Start experimenting and tasting, thinking about complementary flavors. Once you've narrowed in on complementary flavors, consider the contrast. Maybe this brown ale goes really well with this chicken pot pie, but could this pairing be improved by a little bit of contrast? So I'm going to look for a beer with a similar malt profile, but more apparent bitterness at the end. And then, after I've picked the beer, I am going to think about my goals. Did I highlight? Did I evoke? And did I create something new? If I've hit 1, great. If I've hit 2, awesome. And 3, wow, this is going to be a really good pairing. Some do's and don'ts to consider while doing your pairings. Do always match intensity. You don't want one part of the pairing to outshine the other. Do remember to use cutting. This is going to help make sure people want to come back for another sip and another bite. Do remember to keep sweet and spicy or sweet and bitter in mind. Also, for the same reason, to keep coming back for more. Do build an intensity. You don't want to blow out anybody's palate at the start. You want them to enjoy every single course, and always have fun and taste along the way. If you haven't tried it, how do you know it's going to be good? Don't match spicy and bitter. It's just going to increase the spiciness, unless I guess that's what you really want. Don't match bitter with oily fish. It tends to create a metallic flavor. Don't match high alcohol with spicy either. Same concept. Don't cook with an IPA. That's just condensing it down and making that bitterness even more intense. And don't lock yourself into just stouts with dessert. They are good, but there's such an array of intense beers you can use. Sour and, again, bitter and intense. You don't have to just go with that milk chocolate stout. And lastly, don't prejudge your pairing before you've tried it. It could be delicious. You have no idea. Tying it all together, make sure you're having fun. It is just beer after all. Match intensity. Find some commonality. Don't forget about the cutting. And if you're lucky, you found a new flavor in there. Some of my favorite pairings I've ever created. I did a fruited goza with a fresh farmed Blue Point oyster, which was really awesome. I didn't think the salt would work out at all. I've done a West Coast IPA with a plain PB&J sandwich. The cutting technique came in really handy there. And I did a bagel with cream cheese and lox and a saison. I wasn't drinking before noon, I swear. This has been The Beer Coach. Please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments below what you want to be beer coached on next.